everyone, as you can tell, I am lounging this morning and it's just one of those mornings. It's Monday morning. I have my green smoothie here. I don't know if you can see that really well, but anyway, I used to make videos for my music and I would just be jamming, if you will, jamming, and I would be like in my PJs with messy hair and stuff like that, and I think over time I stopped doing that for some stupid reason, and you know what? Like, I don't feel the need to get all dolled up for a video because, you know, one of the biggest messages that I ever have for the whole world is to be genuine, and that's important for me to do too and to practice that as well. So, you know, the messages that come through for this week are going to be the exact same as if I look like this or if I look like, you know, how I usually do, or if I, you know, put on a lot of makeup, or did my hair, or did this, or did that, so that's just not the point. But anyways, I challenge you to do something like that too, and I know there's like a makeup list challenge going like on the internet, and it's just being spread all over the place. You know, supposedly it's supposed to help with cancer research, or cancer or something, I don't really know, and I think that's kind of cool, but to be honest with you, like I said, I used to do this a long time ago. And not to prove, you know, anything specifically. And I think it's cool that people can, you know, take makeup list selfies, if you will. But I think it's something we should practice on a regular basis, not just to get attention to say, hey, look, I'm not wearing makeup. And I understand that kind of is what I'm saying right now is like, hey, I'm not wearing makeup. But it's not really to prove that, you know, I'm cool or to fit in, that I'm looking like a bit of a mess. You know, it's more of, hey, this is okay, and that the underlying message here is that the messages that are meant to come through will come through at the perfect time, in the perfect way, no matter what you look like, right? So, anyway, I can go on forever. But as you guys know, you know, my voice craps out in the morning. I'm a human being, and yeah, so I hope you enjoy my humanness, because I have to enjoy my humanness in order for you to enjoy my humanness, and it's just up to you to enjoy your own humanness. So anyway, let's see what's in store for this week. This week I'm using the daily guidance from your angels cards. And here we go. So for the beginning of the week, hard to see guys, sorry, it's the law of attraction. This is really a reminder that what you think is what you're attracting. And I know sometimes this is really, really difficult because sometimes we feel fears, and like I have mentioned over the past few weeks, you know, we're almost afraid of our fears sometimes because we fear that we're going to manifest whatever it is that's brewing inside of us, right? And though that can always happen, like there's always a possibility, I think it's more likely if it stays in your body. And like I said, if you don't write it out, if you don't verbalize it, if you don't get it out of your physical body, you know, it's a lot easier for it to manifest because it just takes over your emotions, it takes over your physical body. You may honestly become ill. Like, this is what happens. It's just, if it stews in your body for too long, then yeah, it may manifest. And I think sometimes this just comes from fear, right, of things that have happened in the past that we didn't want to happen, so in the future we kind of sometimes fear that something bad's going to happen because, you know, the last time I was in this situation, something bad happened, or something like that, you know. But there's always room to grow. There's always a chance to grow and evolve with others, and there's always a chance to heal in a greater way within yourself and with others. And I've mentioned this before too, in terms of staying full of faith and hope and trust with others. And I'm not saying that we should disregard anything that's happened in the past, whether, you know, there was a lot of pain involved, or if there was a relationship that wasn't healthy. You know, it's not to say that just throw that all out the window and pretend it didn't happen and it doesn't matter, because it does matter. But at the same time, you know, people change, you change, as I say. So, you know, try to stay as open as you can to the possibility that your relationships can change for the better in all ways, and this includes the relationship with yourself. And know that it is possible to attract and manifest the things that you want. Also recognize that this is going to bring up a lot of fear for you. Personally, I'm going through this as well, I am manifesting a lot of my dreams. I am taking a lot of action. And I am, stepping out of all of the fear-based thoughts and behavioral patterns that I've carried for years, right? This is deep work. And when you start to take actions towards the things that you want, on one hand, you're super happy and excited about it, but on the other hand, it's very normal and human and common to feel a lot of fear because your ego and the program, stuff you have in your brain is like, oh my god, you're changing, you're going towards what you love, well, what if you fail, well, what if you succeed, then blah, 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 all this is going to happen, what's going to happen to you, what's going to happen to your relationships, how you're going to provide for yourself, if you're going to change careers, like all this craziness. It's normal for that to happen, but remember to just try your best to stay focused on the positive, and I know that there's some days when it's really, really tough to do. But, raise your hands to the universe, to your angels, ask them for help. If you don't know any angels' names, that's fine. If you want to call on an energy, do that. A light, call that on. You have the ability to do this. The universe is very abundant and is here to provide for you. You just have to stay open to receiving that, and I know how hard that can be. Trust me. So, something that helps me keep my heart open, as I mentioned before, is, stretching back, keeping my heart literally open, because we hunch over so many times and just want to hide away. Eating green things, drinking green things. The color green is associated with your heart chakra. Wearing rose quartz, carrying rose quartz, envisioning green light around you, or a pink light around you, or around any situation, any dream you have, anyone you love. So give those things a try. It may really help you. So that's something to pay attention to at the beginning of this week. For the middle of this week, we have giving and receiving. This is just something that will never go away. This is something that I always talk about and I always have to remind myself of, is the balance of giving and receiving. That's how the universe operates, and many times, we feel horrible when we're in a situation when it feels like it's one way. And I think everyone's been there, right? You've probably been on both sides, where you may be in a friendship, or you may even, have evolved in a weird way with a family member or something like that. Or even work situations, like sometimes you just feel like you're the only one putting in the work and you're the only one making the effort, and if you don't do that, then you're not going to get love back. And so you overextend yourself. Ding, 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 ding. I do that all the time. Like, I've done that for my whole life, and it's just toxic. It's not good, because you have to be able to balance giving and receiving. Giving is great. Giving is a great quality to have. To want to help people, to want to help the world, to want to help the universe. It's a wonderful thing. But it's also wonderful to give to you. And I find that when I overextend myself and give, I'm not giving to myself. And that's something to remember as well, as cliche as it is, or as weird as it sounds. And you may even feel fear about this, because I do sometimes. But when you take care of yourself, you're honestly taking care of everybody. And I've said this 1.5 million times. If you watch my videos, you know that. But it's the truth. And, that's the only way to really receive anything. To receive the abundance that is trying to flow to you, is you have to be open to it. And it's tough, and it actually takes practice to be open, to practice receiving. The only way you can really get into that flow of giving and receiving and balancing that is if you take care of yourself first. And like I've said, guys, I know how tough it is. So, I'm coming from a place where I can understand if you're going through this with me, because, I go through these things too. And it's just very human, I think. And then we see other people as well who are it just seems like they always receive and they never give back, But again, it's not about judging other people and pointing the finger. We can always learn something from everybody, especially the people that drive us crazy and the people that drive us bananas, the people that bring up a lot of hurt, the people that bring up memories of our past, the people that bring up anything uncomfortable. They are your greatest teachers. And just a little thing I want to mention quickly is last night I kind of had this idea come to me, and so you can try this challenge. It's on my blog, justinestream.tumblr.com, but I'm just going to describe it quickly before we get to the message for the weekend. Write a list of 5 things. The first 5 things that come to your mind when you're asked, when I ask you, what are 5 qualities that are positive about yourself? So write down those 5 things. Also make a list beside this of 5 things that you would consider to be your flaws. And this isn't made to make you feel bad about yourself. When you look at these flaws, or they're more so things that are inside of you that you're working on, the things that kind of bug you about yourself, like some of the patterns that you've been repeating, stuff like this. Write down 5 things on that list as well. And after you do that, look at the second list. First of all, both lists are things that are things to accept about yourself and love about yourself, but especially the second list, because the second list has so much vital information for you. Those are the things that are stemming from deep within. You may have to do some deeper digging because, you know, when you write stuff about yourself or if you focus on a flaw, it's very like surface level, as I've explained before. Surface level. If you go down underneath it, see what's bugging you, what the root really is. And that is something for you to learn from. That's what's asking for your love, for your approval. It's not, you know, asking for Joe Blow over there or Bob over here or Sue. You know, like it's not about asking for all these random people's opinions and getting their approval about you. The things that bug you about yourself, you have to come to a place of peace within yourself to heal them. And it takes time. Healing never ends, right? So that's a good way to do some inner work. And you can also do this for people in your family or a loved one, and I advise that you keep this list to yourself. Like when you make these 2 lists about someone else, I think it's great to do that because it's about trying to see where you're learning and growing with the help of other people, right? But it's not about pointing the finger at them and saying, this is good about them, that's bad about them. You know, that's not what it's about. This is about, okay, these are the characteristics that I really love about this person, and these are the things that seem to trigger me. And it's not about what's wrong in them, but it's things about them that bring up stuff for you. So keep this list to yourself because this is about your growth. It's not about going up to them and listing what's good or bad about them or what's right or wrong, because it's just not the point of this exercise. When you look at the things about them, you see what's reflected within yourself, and there's always a correlation, direct, always, 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 always. And again, this may take a bit of digging to figure out, why does that bug me about that person? But there's always something inside of you that is being triggered, that's being asked for your attention. It's being called for you to love that within yourself. So try that little exercise out. The last message for the weekend is acceptance, which I find is just fitting. This is about accepting yourself, basically just tying into what I was just saying about this exercise. What's asking for your acceptance? You know, I get chills as I say that because there's always something that's asking for our love and for our acceptance. And that goes for both ourselves and for others. Like I was saying, you know, even if there's things about other people that you feel are flaws in them, we're all perfectly imperfect human beings and we all deserve to be loved. And we all are loved by the universe and we all are love. That's our core. So just try to see what's going on and what is asking for greater acceptance, especially within yourself. And you can see this through mirroring with other people and writing down these lists and stuff like this, or even through interacting with people. But also see this just through yourself and, you know, be kind with yourself. And make these lists about the top 5 things that you just think of off the top of your head, you know. Positive things about yourself, positive qualities and characteristics about yourself, and also look at that list of 5 things that kind of drive you a little nuts about yourself, and be able to face it. You know, there's no reason to have fear involved here, because the only way that healing can happen and that growth process can happen, because it's never any process, is for you to look at it. And I've said this before, you know, you have to look at it. Because otherwise, if you keep pushing it down or pushing it away and acting like it doesn't exist, it's going to keep coming back up for you until you look at it. And it's not about dwelling in all the things that are wrong with you and making yourself feel bad or making someone else feel bad and pointing the finger. It's not about pointing the finger at yourself or at someone else. This is about acceptance and love. And just another quick tip about this is try to see yourself from an angelic perspective or from the universe's perspective, because from that from that perspective, I can't speak, everything is light and everything is love, and there's no right or wrong, there's no black and white, everything is just light and love, period. Perfectly imperfect. So try to see yourself in that way, like step outside of yourself, and I know that that's really hard to do, I've always struggled with that, but try to step outside of yourself and see all the special characteristics that lie within you. See how different you are from everyone else and how special that is, that there's never been someone exactly like you and like your soul on this planet ever, in this universe ever, and there never will be someone exactly like you ever. We all have our special, unique talents, and we also have our own unique flaws and our own unique paths and dreams and careers. And though, you know, there may be a lot of people in the world and a lot of people have similar interests or similar talents and stuff like this, each one of us is unique and special, and each one of us deserves light and love and deserves self-acceptance. And it's not about running around trying to get people to accept you. It always stems from within. So keep that in mind for the weekend. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'm going to be out of sorry, I'm losing my voice. I'm going to be out of town for most of this week, but you can always contact me and email me at justines.stream@gmail.com. My first music single comes out next week on April 4th. I'm so excited, so check that out on iTunes and Amazon. Search Justine Giles, and it's called We've Got a Light. I'll talk to you guys soon.